Thank you, Mr. Bell. Mr. Pugh.
Chairman Crawford, Ranking Member Holmes Norton, and members of the subcommittee. I'm Lewie Pugh, and I'm a proud trucker. I also serve as the Executive Vice President of the Owner-Operator Independent Drivers Association. I laid out my career as a trucker in the United States Army. After that, I spent 23 years driving a truck as a small business motor carrier, amassing 2.5 million safe miles across this country. Still hold my CDL today. OOIDA is the largest trade association representing small business truckers and professional drivers across the country. We have 150,000 members in all 50 states who operate collectively 240,000 pieces of equipment. OOIDA promotes and protects the interests of our members on issues impacting economic well-being, working conditions, and safe operation of a commercial motor vehicle. Small trucking businesses account for 96% of all registered motor carriers in the U.S., and they are undoubtedly the safest and most diverse operators on the road. Trucking is one of the most heavily regulated industries in America. From the number of hours you can drive, to the color and width of tape that you must put on your trailer, to even when you can go home, every element of trucking is controlled by regulation. Complying with existing regulations, many of which have no connection to safety, can be overwhelming, and even for the most experienced drivers, and in some cases it's damn near impossible. While compliance rates have never been higher, there are those, including large motor carriers, shippers, safety advocates, and elected officials, along with bureaucrats, who not only resist in modernizing or eliminating needless regulations, but want to impose even more rules on the American trucker. Some folks want to mandate speed limiters on all commercial vehicles while dismissing the disastrous consequences and concerns of highway safety and supply chain issues. Others with no experience in a commercial motor vehicle want to mandate the use of unproven and cost-prohibitive equipment like side underride guards. Unfortunately, these examples only scratch the surface. If this is painting a picture of a dysfunctional regulatory environment where practical solutions have become secondary considerations, you are starting to see things like an OOIDA member. Let me be clear, OOIDA and our members are not anti-regulation. We have a long history of supporting regulations that address critical needs in our industry and are backed by sound research and data. We have pushed for enhanced driver training requirements, improved broker transparency, stronger truck leasing rules, and better driver pay and more accurate and reliable safety rating system. Unfortunately, Congress and DOT have an inconsistent record when it comes to crafting regulations. Even members of this subcommittee have demonstrated inconsistency when it comes to developing regulations that support truckers and highway safety. On a positive note, Ranking Member Holmes Norton has championed a bipartisan legislation to fight freight fraud, and Representative Van Drew has introduced a bipartisan bill to eliminate the overtime exemption, to ensure drivers are paid for all the hours that they work. In contrast, other lawmakers, at the behest of trial lawyers, have continued to push a massive 500% increase in liability insurance minimums, despite knowing the existing minimum covers the cost of 99% of crashes. Even the Infrastructure Investment Jobs Act provided a mixed bag for truckers. On one hand, Congress included provisions to combat predatory leasing. On the other, the bill authorized an overly ambitious automatic emergency braking mandate. It has also created an underride committee dominated by blatantly biased participants who failed in their mission to generate a consensus on the ways to reduce underride crashes, fatalities, and injuries. While Congress's records features positives and negatives aspects, truckers are completely frustrated with DOT's regulatory actions, mostly concerning the department's wildly unpopular and dangerous speed limiter mandate, its efforts to water down CDL requirements, the slow pace of addressing broker transparency, and improving the National Consumer Complaint Database. In the end, truckers want regulations that reflect their needs and the changing dynamics of their industry. It's time for Congress and DOT to help make trucking an appealing, safe, and sustainable career by listening to the people who make their living behind the wheel. And thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Pugh. Ms. Osborne, you recognized.